The Boulder is here to tell you that it's time to rise up and subscribe to patreon.com/WSScast Productions. Their shows will rock you with bonus episodes, early access, and exclusive content just for subscribers. You'll dig their podcasts, so don't take their work for granted. Again, that's patreon.com/WSScast Productions. Boulder, over and out.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Earth Kingdom, tonight we have a special episode of the After Credits Cast. Let's get our first act out of the way quick so we can get to the main event. But first, in this corner, she'll block your chi and break your balls, Fists of Fury style, it's Nicole Mendez.
Yes.
And in this corner, we have the Cagliostro King himself. Give it up for your time bender, Ryan Mitters.
Boo.
He brought his own theremin. I appreciate that. I am your host, AJ Waseska. Now, let's get ready to podcast. Yeah, that's an intro right there.
Yep.
I wanted you to do the "Let's get ready to podcast."
Oh, Ryan, that's so overdone. I had to get everyone's anticipation up for me to do that, and then just be like,
Aww.
we're gonna be subdued. We're gonna be very chill. We're gonna be very chill.
Ooh.
Are you saying boo or boo earns?
I was saying boo earns.
I think we've made that reference before in an episode. It never gets old.
Oh, so many times, Doug.
Never
Never
gets
times.
old.
So many times.
Speaking of things that
I think
never
every
get
time
old,
we have a yeah.
Speaking of things that never get old, we have some links down below. You can follow us on Patreon, YouTube, Pippa, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict. We're also on the socialist medias, the Tumblrs, the Facebooks, the other one, the Twitter. And Ryan, if they want to email us directly, there are various introductions for us as wrestlers. Where could they email that to?
They can email us at the Boulder's email address 5221 at excuse me. Sorry. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
I like the Boulder's email. I really want to reach out to him and just be like, hey, Boulder, I have a question. Like, how do you deal with crippling depression?
He answers in all caps, but it's actually really caring and really touching.
Oh, kind of like the Incredible Hulk. Got it.
Yeah. Because the Boulder is nothing if not emotionally intelligent and wants the well-being of every single one of his fans.
I like it. We need to make this a thing, a new side thing we do. It's just the Boulder, the Boulder. Ask the Boulder.
Ask the Boulder. Yes.
Hashtag Ask the Boulder.
Yeah, if you hashtag Ask the Boulder us, we will answer your questions. I don't give a shit.
100%, please. I will absolutely do that.
I hope this becomes a thing. Let's rush through Side A, because Side B is where the action is. With Avatar Day, released on April 28th, 2006, written by John O'Brien and directed by Lauren McMullen, animated by DR Movie. The cast includes a few new faces, including James Sie as Oyaji, James Hahn as Mayor Ton, that's a bit of a rhyme there, Malachi Throne as Colonel Monkey, I'm not sure how they pronounce that in the show, actually. Jason Miller as the scary prisoner, as opposed to the regular prisoner, and Jennifer Hale as the legendary Avatar Kyoshi.
Who is like 8'12". God damn.
Dude,
she is a giant of a woman.
Dude, she is slam dunking bitches, I tell you what.
No, she was the one getting slam dunked if you read the book.
Oh.
If you catch my drift.
You're saying someone was slapping her jack?
Rongi was indeed slapping her jack.
Oh. So you are reading the books then? You are reading the books, huh?
I haven't read the book yet, but that is what I have gotten off of the Reddit.
Okay. I actually want to read those books. They look interesting. So that'll be something. That'll be something on my to-do list.
Yeah, it is on my to-do list to read.
Ryan, speaking of Kyoshi, I think you got some fun facts for us.
I do. Two, in fact. Even though Kiyoshi confesses in the flashback, it shows that she did not actually kill Chin the Conqueror. She merely caused the conditions which led to him falling off the cliff. In the finale of the show, when Aang comments on how Kiyoshi technically did not kill Chin, she blankly responds, "Personally, I don't see the difference, but I assure you I would have done whatever it took to stop Chin." Yep. 100% down to murder.
Hell yeah.
Some folks need to end.
DTM, man.
Straight up.
DTM.
DTM, down to murder. I love it.
I'm always DTM.
Last fun fact for this episode. Sokka's special detective hat is the winged cap traditionally worn by Chinese magistrates, who in Chinese literature were often depicted as great detectives. The pipe, of course, is an obvious reference to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't throw in the game is afoot. That would have been too on the nose, I know, but it would have been funny.
But it would have worked because her feet are massive, so...
Yep. Yes! Oh, God!
Missed opportunity.
Now I'm doubly mad that they didn't do that.
Missed opportunity.
Yep.
I got a quick synopsis, and then we have a few questions before we roll on to the main event. Are you guys ready for this?
All right.
Yes.
The game goes to a town full of people who learned a biased history and hate the Avatar for a crime he obviously didn't commit. Sokka even has evidence to back it up, but the mayor of the town doesn't really give a shit about facts, calling it fake news. Like that would ever happen. Things get worse when Kiyoshi appears through Aang and kind of confesses, but they save the town from the rowdy rough rhinos and get kind of, respect, sort of. Zuko keeps doing his blue shenanigans. Iroh tells him some deep words of wisdom, which Zuko misinterprets and decides to travel alone for a few episodes. Yeah, that's the episode.
Yep. That's an episode.
So, much like The Great Divide, how much time do you realistically want to spend on this episode?
Okay, so this is a filler episode, but it does, in terms of the Zuko content, it does act as the setup for two of his best episodes up to date. Mm-hmm. So it takes it just out of filler.
Yeah.
like everything that the gang gets up to is kind of just like fun shenanigans. Let's laugh a bit before we make you cry in Zuko alone.
Just a little out of filler as a treat.
Yeah, as a treat.
But even Sokka says this is the worst place he's ever been to.
Well, I mean, when new Avatar Day comes around and their treat is just dough, bruh. You just handed the Avatar a bowl of dough.
Fucking salmonella gonna get him.
Right?
Yeah, the town's full of idiots. Can we just be at least straight about that one? There's no
100%.
No excuse for him. No excuse.
Fuck this town. We're never coming back here.
But is this as bad a side tangent, side story as something like The Great Divide? Ignoring the Zuko stuff, is this as bad as Great Divide?
I don't think so, considering I don't remember a Great Divide right now.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
If I can't remember, clearly it wasn't that great.
If I don't remember what I did, it's not illegal.
I'm gonna say this is better than The Great Divide, specifically because we actually get to see and hear Avatar Kyoshi.
Yeah, that's
true.
That kind of does
we get to see just actual how much of a fucking mountain she was. I'm just damn.
That a big woman.
Well, okay. So speaking of Kyoshi,
giant woman. I love her.
Speaking of Kyoshi, is she right in her belief that she killed Shin? Why or why not?
I mean, her action did directly cause him to die.
She may not have shot the gun that hypothetically would have killed him, but she loaded it and put it in someone's hand.
Helped aim the gun, too.
She helped aim the gun, taught him how to shoot a gun.
Then left and just said, okay, you're on your own.
She also may have held Chin there as this hypothetical person shot the gun, but
Honestly, it's like she fully loaded the gun, pulled the hammer back, squeezed the trigger to the last bit, then put the gun in Chin's hand and said, "Don't sneeze," and then left. And then he sneezed. And he was dead.
Yeah, that seems fair. Seems fair.
Yeah.
I think what's really important though is that it shows how resolute she was in her will to stop that shit from happening. So it's like, I could have also killed him. Mm-hmm. That would have been fine with me too, but they deserve their own land to not be to not be invaded and harassed. So I just moved the whole fucking island because I'm a boss like that.
Just gonna move the island 5 feet to the right.
Yeah, and if Chen dies, then if he dies, he dies. Right. Fucking. So sure, yeah.
And if he didn't die right then and there, I'm sure Kiyoshi, if he
Kiyoshi
bothered her some more.
Yeah, if he was sailing on some ships to come fuck with Kiyoshi Island, he was done. He was done.
Yeah.
Done.
I imagine
you just don't take hints, do you? Tidal wave, and he's dead.
I imagine she just pulls out of the way. He just leaves and it's like, okay, I'll come with a new plan. And then middle of the night, she just comes into his room and stabs him. Be like, oh yeah, no, I meant for this to happen. Sorry.
She just looms over his bed as he's sleeping.
Okay, so I do have a deep question here, but before I get to that, though, do you think Zuko truly misinterpreted Iroh's words, or do you think what Zuko's intended meaning was really matters? Or, sorry, Iroh's intended meaning. Sorry.
Nicole, what you got on this one?
I mean, Zuko's in a really messed up place right now. So he interpreted probably Iroh's words as best as he could. And like Iroh says later on, I think it was in another episode, but he's having his own journey right now. He's figuring himself out. He's got a lot of soul searching to do. And his initial interpretation may have been wrong, but that's for him to figure out. I don't think Iroh has a certain meaning for Zuko. He knows what he wants for Zuko, but that's up for Zuko to figure out.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah. I'm pretty much on the same page with Nicole there. The fact is that you can't Iroh can't make the decisions for him at this point. He said, you're coming to a point where you are going to have to figure where you want to go and what you want, what the kind of man that you want to be. He says that later on in this season as well, but this is really the first echoes of that call. And so he might not have meant you need to fucking leave, but even as he interpreted it that way, it still did what Iroh was telling him. The fact that he's on his own journey and he has to do some soul searching. Just because they had to separate at that point in time, or he decided to separate from his uncle, it might have Zuko might have known that he needed to do that shit on his own for a while, or it could have been that he was a bit tired of his uncle kind of taking the high road and he wanting to kind of do things the low and dirty way, which is interesting. Consider that when in Zuko Alone, he gets in trouble mostly for trying to help people, kind of like his uncle might.
Yep.
It's almost like it's almost like the wisdom that Iroh has been seeding in Zuko's mind is starting to sprout now that Zuko is actually thinking on shit.
Maybe. Maybe. Oh wait, I see
Maybe?
I see a gardener coming though. She looks pretty intense. Got some lightning on her hands, but don't worry. I'm sure she'll take care of those weeds.
That's not
yeah,
the
it's fine.
gardener!
But she's got a shirt on that says gardener.
No. Lies.
She's even wearing that gardener hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Time for the deep question of the episode, because everyone's got to have at least one, even this one. Is this town a commentary on how history has a bias, and our perception of history itself also has a bias? Why or why not? Getting deep.
Getting deep in there.
Especially in this country, this is a very poignant question.
Especially right now with the recent executive order.
But, there's a saying that history is written by the victors, and I think that definitely stands the test of time when you look back at things that are taught as part of the curriculum that our kids are going through in terms of history and social studies. These are it's definitely biased towards a certain point of view, and you don't really get to look at other points of view regarding these things until you're old enough to actually want to search those questions out yourself. I think this is a very, very interesting question to come back to in the next season when we visit the school. Yep. In the Fire Nation.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely agree that there is a historical bias, and much like what we'll get into in next episodes, alone, people want to follow the crowd. There's an inherent danger in wanting to stand out, especially in a group of people as loud and zealotous as this ridiculous ass town. So it's much easier to kind of go with the flow than to try to stand against something that you think might be incorrect. And I think that definitely shows itself in this small backwards ass town.
Nicole, anything you want to add to that one?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ryan. Just history in general is always going to have a bias on who's telling it. Yeah, I had totally forgotten about the school episode for a second. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. That's a surprisingly good episode. So we'll get there.
Yeah,
it's a very underappreciated episode.
We will get there, and I'm sure we'll discuss it more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what Ryan said, how we see more in Zuko alone, people just kind of going with the crowd. That and just people are just social animals. They go together.
You filthy animals.
Plus, if you're plus, it seems like a lot of people in this town don't really leave. They're born there, they live there, they die there.
Yep.
So, honestly, they don't know anything else. And I don't...
There are real life towns like this.
Yeah. And unlike, modern day, they don't really have the resources to find out other opinions. It's just kind of, you're taught that, so, it must be right.
So I guess I got a follow-up question for you. It's not on the list, but now that we've brought up this whole biased history thing.
Questions that aren't on the list!
I know.
What? I wasn't prepared for this. This wasn't in my contract.
I know. What do y'all think of this more patriotic history that is being pushed on us here?
That should be an answer for you.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad that all of this madness is happening in the last year of the term, because it feels like there's a good amount of it that can be walked back. If there's a new person running it, if there's a second term, I'm just gonna leave the country as soon as fucking possible.
Like, and the thing that
Not
bugs
gonna
me...
be here for this.
Bro, I'm planning on leaving the country, like, either way.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, but it'll
Like,
just
really just
accelerate
fuck the States at this point.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that bugs me the most, though...
My girlfriend wants to teach in Korea. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll learn Korean. Let's do it.
Yeah. Aaron, you're kind of stuck here because you bought a house.
I could just burn it down, it's fine. Insurance money. But no, what I was gonna say, though...
Take the insurance money and get out.
What I was gonna say, though, was that, what bugs me the most about this whole thing is that when he's like, I want to have history be taught more patriotically, I'm like, what do you mean? We already have history that's pretty much biased towards America being pretty good. Even the stuff that we did bad is kind of glossed over. And
Absolutely.
And I've had people on Facebook argue with me, oh, but we need to hear both sides. I'm like, what side do you need to hear that you aren't already in agreement with? The side that tells more bad horror stories about the black slaves? Or more sad stories about the genocide of Native Americans? Or the very questionable state of Israel as it is? I mean, there's a lot of things we've done that aren't great, and y'all are just sort of like brushing under the rug because, oh no, America great.
The activity of the U.S. government against citizen groups that just so happen to disagree with things that it's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The assassinations that have been pulled out, but that's neither here nor there.
No,
right?
but no, guys, go America.
Yeah, go America.
Like, I'm at least glad I live in a country where I'm allowed to speak my mind about this stuff and actually be like, yo, hey, no, that ain't right. But, like, I'm worried that allowing this to continue the way it is going to eventually have us lose that right, and that would be a very not surprising thing at this point.
Yeah. This election's really important, y'all. This election's really fucking important,
In case you couldn't tell before.
You see, you say that, but the problem, Ryan, is that I think we've already been fucked. We chose the lamest horse of the bundle to go up against him, and, well, here we are.
Bruh, if everybody votes for the lame horse, we'll get it through. If everybody does it.
But the lame horse is doing such a good job at, like,
But I mean,
not winning. He's, like, doing such a good job at...
I feel you.
I mean, the lame horse also isn't that great either. Can we not have either one of them?
Yes,
Is there a
please.
third option I can have? Any other option? Can we get, like, I don't know, a cat in there? Can I get Dwayne The Rock Johnson in office? He'll make this country great. I know he will.
The Rock! Oh, that reminds me. We have another episode we gotta do. You've been waiting for it. Taking center stage is for tonight's bout is The Blind Bandit.
Yeah.
Originally airing May 5th, 2006. Written by Michael Dante DiMartino and directed by Ethan Spalding. JM Animation, of course, is on animation duty. The cast includes some new voices, such as Kevin M. Richardson as Big Bad Hippo, Mick Foley as the Boulder, Mark Grau as Jin Fu, Cam Clark as Lao, Sab Shimono as Master Yu, and, because she's already been on the show once, but this is important, Jessie Flower returns for the titular role of Toph Bayfon.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind because I didn't know that Mick Foley...
Ryan, how could you...
I didn't know!
Ryan, how can you not know? It's one of your fun facts.
What?
It's almost like you didn't read the script.
It's almost like he didn't do any research before we started recording.
My brain is melting. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Ryan, how did you not know?
Oh man.
Dongle.
Man, fuck.
Right, now he's broken.
Well, just hit the reset button, it's fine.
Fucking fun facts. No, fun facts. Fun facts. The first fun fact is the fun fact that I just learned along with y'all. The Boulder can be assumed to refer to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, of course, since he's dark-skinned and refers to himself in the third person, ironically. But he is voiced by Mick Mankind, Cactus Jack Foley, one of The Rock's biggest rivals and closest friends in wrestling. Oh my heart.
one tidbit that you did not put in there is that because The Rock could not do this role, he actually suggested Foley to do it.
Oh, did they actually ask The Rock for
God.
this?
And they were, yeah, they actually asked The Rock to do it, and he's like, I can't do it right now. I probably had some movie stuff going on, but he suggested Mick Foley to do it.
Mick Foley did a good job, though. I can't argue that
Mick
one.
Foley he's just good. I love him.
Mick Foley's just wonderful. He's just a wonderful human being all around.
He's like the Bob Ross of wrestling.
Yeah,
You can't hate Mick Foley. You can only love him and love him more.
I loved the Boulder simply because the character itself was ridiculous and amazing, but this has taken my love to the nth degree. So, okay. All right.
This episode's getting a platinum for sure, I guarantee it.
Damn.
just for that alone.
Boulder, okay.
Just for that alone.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Next fun fact. Sorry, we got two more. Fire Nation Man is a reference to wrestling's tradition of ersatz bad guys, referred to in professional wrestling slang as heels. During the Cold War, many of these bad guys were supposedly from Russia, but were actually Americans putting on accents. Fire Nation Man's accent was most notably Russian.
Yes.
God, this is the wrestling episode. I fucking love it. Oh, oh God.
I told you you'd love it. I told you it'd be
Chef's
good.
kiss. All right, last wrestling fun fact for you guys. The raised fist logo for Earth Rumble, while very simple to a socialist emblem, is a more subtle reference to the steel fist that used to be the iconic piece of stage set of WWE SmackDown for a number of years.
Yes.
I bet every animator was actually just a huge wrestling market. Like, please let me do this episode. Please put me on this episode. I want it.
That. All wrestlers are nerds.
Yes,
Well,
100%.
Considering they had the martial arts background of this show, yeah, I could see that. I'm sure they get a lot of inspiration from that.
Mm-hmm.
I got some not fun facts. I got a synopsis here for you, and then we can roll into some discussion questions.
I don't believe. Yes, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good, Ryan?
I'm great. I'm great.
Are you sure?
I'm fan fucking tastic. Let's hear this synopsis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Gain are back. The Gain's back looking for an Earthbender after last episode's filler distraction. Luckily, they stumble into Earth Rumble 6, full of seemingly powerful Earthbenders. One is the titular Blind Bandit, who is known for being, well, unbeatable. Aang tries to talk to her, but things go poorly and he knocks her out of the ring. And they're suspected of cheating the owner out of the winnings of Earth Rumble 6. They manage to find the Blind Bandit named Toph Bayfon. She's from a rich, uppity family that thinks she's weak and helpless, but she proves her worth by taking out everyone from the wrestling parody out single-handedly after having been captured. Her father forbids her from leaving the home ever again, but she runs away because fuck what the man says. We got rocks to be chucking.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So, with all that, what'd y'all think of the episode?
Chef's kiss.
Mwah. Like it already had me going with the huge number of wrestling nods, and just because I love that shit. But Toph as a character herself was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's a very good intro episode for her.
It might be one of the best episodes I've seen introducing a new character to a group. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
I mean, this is well, I was just gonna say, in terms of Toph, this is the first young bender that we see and immediately realize she's absolutely a master. Nobody can teach her shit. She's just got it. And I love that in episodes past, Boomy said you're gonna want to look for somebody who's mastered neutral Jing, who can sit and listen and wait for the right opportunity to strike. And Toph's all Toph's effectiveness is because she can pinpoint the exact moment to hit you. She can throw a building at you, for sure. But she's primarily murking these guys because she can tell exactly when they're off balance and then hits them with like one move that chucks them out of the ring. Mm-hmm. It's fucking flawless. I'm like, that's master shit. That's master level shit. Immediately. Mwah! Sorry. I had to get that off my chest. I love Toph.
Oh, no, you're fine.
She's here.
Like I've said before in previous episodes, she is in contention for my number one favorite character. Between her and Iroh, it's always a toss-up because they both have some of the best moments in this whole series, hands down. I really wish we could have gotten more time with them together like we did in the Chase episode. Just a little more time.
Same.
So I've got a few questions here for you. First one, I know Ryan's already dove into a little bit with his little spiel. So Nicole, this is more for you. What are your first impressions of Toph?
That just here is because we spend so much time with the boulder building him up, and then we bring out Toph, who like beats him in like 5 seconds. And it just, she's just a badass. She's a badass, and she can kick like anyone's ass doing the minimum amount of effort. I don't know if she was really trying.
If a little girl showed up and beat Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, she would immediately become my favorite wrestler of all time.
So we are now looking to field a new wrestler for WWE to beat The Rock. If any women want to step up and help us out, that'd be great. We're going to look for little girls. We're going to be reasonable. I mean, you have to at least be of legal working age before we can take you in.
Bonus points if you're blind.
Yep, we'll give you bonus points for disabilities. It's fine. Equal
I was just going to say in AEW, there was actually there was a point where Chris Jericho, being champion, he was beaten by a kid from the audience.
Of course, obviously, he let that happen, but it's still cool.
Oh no, he didn't let shit happen. He got beat up by Orange Cassidy, the greatest wrestler of all time, and he pulled a kid out of the audience who was cosplaying as him. And instead of getting the pin himself, he had the kid get the pin.
Oh. That's pretty cool. I like that. So I guess the next question I got here is, which wrestler, quote unquote, did you find the most fascinating, and how familiar are you? Well, I guess I don't have to ask this one. I already know you guys are familiar with real life wrestling, so that was more for Bo and Chad if they showed up.
I wanted more of the luchador wrestlers.
Yes,
right?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like, I saw the luchador wrestlers come out, and I was like, excuse me? Also, the Mole Man.
The Mole Man is pretty cool.
Like, he didn't have any lines, but, like, I knew his gimmick. I'm pretty sure there was a wrestler in the 80s with that gimmick.
There's no escape from the fortress of the moles.
Behold the Underminer! I am always beneath you, but nothing is beneath me! Sorry. I just...
You good there?
Yeah, I had an incredible flashback.
Okay.
Sounds like an incredible flashback to me.
I
don't think he's good.
It really was.
I think we need a new Ryan after this episode.
We'll just hit reset. It's fine. Speaking
of... I would say the Lucha Libre. The Luchador was definitely the one I wanted to see more of.
Mm-hmm.
I have respect for the Fire Nation man just because I get that he's playing this stupid heel character, but I appreciate someone who's willing to go out of their way to be the character no one likes. I appreciate that.
It's hard work to be a heel, dude. It really is.
It's hard work to be a likable heel.
Yes.
Like, to be a good fucking heel.
Let's see, next here. So this is probably the deep question of the episode. Maybe there's another one. We'll see. Do you think Toph is a great symbol of representation, Or do you think that her quote-unquote disability is irrelevant? And how does she compare to other quote-unquote disabled heroes?
I mean, I personally love the. I mean, I think representation is fantastic for everybody, because the more that we see characters that aren't your prototypical male slash like male or female character, but rather somebody that has that represents another facet of like the wide range of humanity, I think that's always a good thing.
Especially considering Toph's original design.
Oh, yep.
Wait, what was Toph's original design?
It was more like a younger version of the Boulder.
Yeah. So spoilers, Ryan, because it's going to be brought up in a later episode. You remember the Ember Island players?
Oh yeah, that was the original.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much. Just a big hulking dude.
My name's Toph. It sounds like tough.
That's perfect. Oh god. So I love that they were laughing at themselves then, because they added that in at the end. Okay. But yeah, I think any form of representation is really, really good. I love that they never make it that her blindness is not an integral part of her character, but they never let it. It's never an. I don't know. It's never an impediment for her. Like there's never a need to fix Toph.
It's
Toph
also not
is
the only
amazing.
part of her character. There are other aspects. Like her disability is not her character.
Right. She's also really stubborn. She's also very like devilishly clever and can turn on the I'm a little rich girl button really, really easily.
Yeah.
She also has a complex relationship with her family, because they see her one way, but she feels different, and then that doesn't mesh when she actually reveals who she really is. She's a very complex, multifaceted character, and her disability is definitely a part, but it's not the only part, like Nicole said. So I think it's a very, very good take on the character.
Well, so
it also like fleshes out this world a little bit, like because. How do other people with like disabilities bend?
Well, if you don't have arms, you can't bend.
Well,
just wait.
I
Man.
see what you
Next
did there.
show, next show, we got something for
yeah.
But no. So the reason I brought up the question though is because there are characters like Daredevil who I've read complaints from people who read the comics or watch the show about how, they might be blind, but does it really matter because they can see the world pretty much perfectly as it is with their powers and such. And kind of a similar situation for Toph. So I guess, do her powers really render that disability irrelevant, or do you think that that's not the case?
I don't think so. Like, it's just... she's... Like, her and Daredevil have learned to adapt to not being able to actually visually see the world. But with that, they see it differently. And they're...
One could argue almost better.
They're... In some aspects, they are more perceptive than someone who can, like, visually see. So I don't think it, like... Yeah. So I don't think it, like, takes away from them being blind. It just... It enhances them.
Okay.
Because, like, we still see the parts, like, the parts with Toph, like, when she's like, give me back my belt, and Sokka just tosses it to her.
Oh yeah, and we get little moments like that too throughout the series, like her being on the back of Appa saying, "Hey, look, the library's over there."
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it'll sound like when one of you guys sees it.
I love how it is actually played as kind of like an ableist like jab at the rest of the group, because she's so amazing that they always forget she's blind, like without fail. Like, what do you think this is? It's like, I'm assuming it's a piece of paper with something written on it, but I can't tell you what it is.
The poster's upside down, isn't it?
And I'm like, so yeah, I think they work to make that an actual part of her character, so it's never just she just glides along with everybody else because she's blind, but it's only like a token blindness. Like, we see other ways in which it does hamper her, like when they're on sand and it's like it's a very fuzzy like image that she can get because the ground isn't solid, or when they're flying through the air and she's like, I can't see shit, or they're in water, it's just like, nope, nothing. I can't even swim, guys, what the fuck? So
yeah,
it's never like perfect. So I think they also honor the difficulty of the disability as well.
I think this is a way of just disability done right.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I know there are people who would argue otherwise, but I do agree with you guys in this sense. I think they do a pretty solid job overall.
Yeah.
Speaking of Toph's problems, though, was there any chance of Toph's family coming to an understanding? Why or why not?
No. No way in hell.
Like, I think her dad's a bit of an asshole for like not even like acknowledging anything that like he literally witnessed with his own two eyes. But at the end of the day, Toph is 12 years old.
Yeah.
And he wants to protect his 12-year-old daughter. Like that part of it, like it definitely goes past that, where it's like, no, she's 12 years old and she's blind. She can't do anything. I don't give a damn if I just saw her fight 4 earthbending masters simultaneously. She's blind and she can't do shit. Now, that is an asshole part of him. But I think the core of that is a father who wants to see his little girl safe. So
I don't even know if it's that, because we learn from the other earthbending students that they don't even acknowledge that like they have a daughter. They keep her a total secret. I can understand if like they had her out and like people knew that the Beifongs had a daughter, but as far as the populace knows, the Beifongs don't have any kids. They keep her locked up within the estate.
Well, and
like even the guard is like, when the gang first meets up with Toph, he's like, your father doesn't like you wandering the grounds. So like, she can't even wander in the backyard of her own place.
Well, I want to blow your mind here real quick. So in the comics, she actually does reunite with her father at one point, and they actually work together on shit too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay, I gotta read these comics.
You really do.
That's some catharsis right there.
Yeah.
They are the missing season 4 that I wish we had. But moving on. So the creators have stated that Master Yu's Academy is a commentary on shady martial arts studios found in malls. Those old things. Do you feel that this is an accurate depiction? Why or why not?
I haven't taken one of those shady martial arts studios like in a mall, but I can assume like I've definitely heard stories of like if you pay like your like 6 month subscription up front, we can speed you up to yellow belt or some stupid shit like that. So like it's definitely martial arts studios started first and foremost as businesses as opposed to actual studios to develop people's martial arts. So I would think that's fairly accurate, but I don't have too much personal experience to give you on that.
Right now I'm just thinking of Cobra Kai and then thinking back to like
I still gotta watch it. Watch it.
My God, right. It's so good. It's so good.
It's on Netflix. I just have to take some time and actually watch it.
Right.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
Stop doing anything and watch Cobra
Ryan, quit your job and watch Cobra Kai.
Marathon that shit. Right? Max and I marathoned it when he came over that past weekend. And
Alright.
it is
I'm
good.
gonna watch it. I promise I'm gonna watch it.
I'm so jealous that you've been able to talk to Max. I haven't heard from him in like forever.
Well, he is kind of dead with grad school and teaching, you know.
Yeah, like Max is on his way to actually rule the fucking world.
I just hope he doesn't forget about the three of us. I mean, we were there for him from the very beginning when he was starting his world domination. And then follow-up question for all that.
Have you going with this? Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say follow-up question. Have you ever actually taken a martial arts class before?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff did you guys try to learn?
It was karate for me.
Yeah,
I was-
same.
Damn, how old was I? Like
I think
11?
I think I was maybe around like 7. I know I was young because I still lived with my grandmother.
Yeah, I did taekwondo, I think, when I was 10 or 11, and did it through black belt first degree, and then after that...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
With those skinny arms?
It's not about strength, man. It's about speed and
I'm
about
sorry,
precision.
are you a black belt in taekwondo? Is that what you just said to me?
I mean, I was. I'm way out of practice, so...
What the okay.
So what you're telling me is you could kick Ryan's ass.
No, Ryan's a beefy boy. He'd probably take me.
What the fuck?
Wow.
I'm not calling him fat. I'm saying he's got muscle.
My mind is fucking shattered by this episode. Mick Foley voiced the Boulder. Aaron's a fucking black belt. I don't know what's real anymore.
Great, we broke Ryan.
I mean, that was part of the plan, honestly.
What?
Yeah.
A fucking black belt. What?
So
It was
Ryan,
all part of my plan to become co-hosts.
so Ryan, how far did you get in karate then?
Not far at all. I was able to do a couple of lessons, and then my dad couldn't afford the classes anymore, so we did something else.
See, so what happened for us is we signed up as a group, so my dad, my brother, and I, we all went at the same time. I think that's why we stuck with it as long as we did.
That's really cool.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
It's one of the last things that I think the three of us did as a family before, high school and college, all that happened, so...
Yeah. Damn.
So,
Imagine doing things as a family.
I know, right?
That's just blowing my mind. Like, Allegra's trying to get me a little more family oriented, but I'm just like, man, my family sucks. Though.
Dude, take karate with your family. It'd be great.
Yeah, Ryan, take karate with your dad.
Yeah, sure.
That'll
get
go
my dad
over
to-
great.
Sure. I keep telling her, I'm like, when we have kids, I'll start over. We'll start from square one family. It'll just be us, and then I'll be all family mode. But my existing family, I'm not too into that.
Ryan, do you have any kid names picked out yet?
We've got a short list.
Oh,
I want a short list.
Okay, I don't want a whole
Early.
list. I just want to know one of your favorites. What's one of your favorite names on the list? I promise I will not steal it. We've got our own short list too.
Okay, Ryan, I want to ask you a serious question. How many of them are related to an anime?
None, actually. None.
She probably won't allow it.
All right, you know, good on her.
I tried to give her a name out of my favorite book, The Name of the Wind. She was like, absolutely not. I was like, okay, that's fine.
You know what, good on her. I've never met her, but you know what, good on her. She's keeping you and can.
Oh God, yeah. So out of the short list, one of her grandfather's names was Bishop. So we were thinking about Bishop.
That's a cool name. I like it.
Yeah. And she also really likes the concept of like taking masculine sounding names for girls or vice versa. So we were talking about using my dad's middle name, James, if we have a girl, so we would name her Jamie. Her name would be Jamie Faye.
That's cool. I like that.
Because my stepmom's middle name is Faye as well, so that's one I really like.
Yeah.
Kids!
I couldn't tell you all the names that she's got listed up. She's, like, got a master list of all of them, and she's ignored most of my suggestions. And to be fair,
on her.
To be fair, only, like, one of them was from an anime, but it's not even, like, a common name. It's just like a little goofy name, whatever. But,
what was it?
I honestly don't remember.
Oh,
fucking nerd.
I think she wrote it down out of pity. He's like, I'll just write it down. It's not going on the kid's name. It's not happening.
Did she automatically, like, cross it off as soon as she wrote it down?
Probably. I did tell her, though, that I insist one of the kids' middle name be Danger, though.
Danger. Oh, my God.
Danger was Seska.
Admit it, though, if you were a kid and your parents gave you the middle name Danger, you would brag about it everywhere, wouldn't you?
You would brag about it up until you reached, like, maturity, and then it would just be whatever D was Seska, and they'd be like, what's the D for? And, like, I don't want to talk about it.
The D stands for dick.
There are only two options for that child. Either they will grow up, like, loving it throughout their whole life and becoming a badass, or being, like once they grow up and reach that awkward phase, like, be kind of ashamed of it and be like, Dad, why'd you do this to me?
It was a social experiment, my son, and you have failed.
That's what kids want to hear from their parents. You failed the test I gave you when you were born. Jesus wept.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay. We're way off topic here, but I got one final question for y'all.
Okay.
Toph or Boomy, who is the greatest earthbender alive?
I gotta say Toph.
Yeah, it's still Toph, man. Boomy's high up there, man. In terms of experience and just general fucking kookiness, but Toph is the fucking innovator, man. She is the master.
She developed metal bending.
I'll...
She's like, oh, even you can't bend metal. She's like, bitch, let me get him.
Power for bending comes out of spite.
I'll say this. I think Boomy is more powerful. Granted, he's also got more years of experience and training and such. I think Toph is more versatile, without question.
Yes,
absolutely.
I think if you could get Boomy in his prime versus Toph in her prime, it would be a toss-up as to who wins. But at the current stance, I think it's just they're very different, but they both have their various strengths going on for them, and it's interesting just to compare them.
I still want to see that fight. Like, I still want to see that fight.
Like, the problem is you couldn't even do a death battle style, because there's really not a lot of Boomy bending lore, information. Yeah. Like, you've got so much of Toph and nothing with him to work with, so it's like, who knows what he's actually capable of when you get down to it.
He could bend with his face.
Face bending is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. I love it.
Wiggle your nose, suddenly there's a crater in your city.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the questions I had for the episode. It's a fun one, not a lot of depth to it, but definitely fun. Is there anything that you guys wanted to hit up on that I missed?
Again, I just want to be like, Ryan, you really didn't know that McFoley?
I really didn't know.
Wow.
Y'all got my live reaction on record.
Wow.
I like that. I appreciate that. Live reactions is the best. Live reactions, live tweets. Speaking of tweets,
this is a big bra moment.
Speaking of tweets, if you want to send us your messages about why you knew about Mick Foley long before Ryan did, you can send them to us on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook. You can also go to our email. And Ryan, if they want to email us that kind of information or something else entirely, what would they email that to?
They can email that to Aaron is a fucking black belt. Why didn't I know this?
I'm pretty sure I knew this too.
I'm sure you have. You've got like a decade's more experience with him on me. I'm sorry.
I do.
Sorry.
Also
It's
phrasing, Ryan.
It's evacstation@gmail.com.
I mean, are we not doing phrasing anymore? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Anyway. Yeah, no, so, Ryan, the reason you didn't know is because you didn't ask.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Nicole, would you happen to be a black belt of Taekwondo?
You know what? Maybe I am.
That's not an answer. That's just it, man. End the podcast. End the goddamn podcast.
Okay,
Let's
so
get
we've
to this ranking.
gotta
Oh my
rank 2
God.
episodes. Gotta rank 2 episodes.
All right,
Avatar Day. Avatar Day. It's a day of Avatar. Nicole, Ryan, what are we ranking Avatar Day?
Okay. Ryan, what do you rank in Avatar Day?
Avatar Days of Bronze. It's not a bad episode, and it does set up some very important things to happen down the road, but especially considering the host of gem episodes that we're going to get this season, it's definitely on the bottom end of it. So I'd say it's a strong bronze. It's a strong bronze.
Yeah. I think the rating I'm gonna have to give it is Ryan's reaction to learning that Kiyoshi's a bottom.
But she's a
Yeah,
power
yeah.
bottom, Nicole. She's a power bottom.
From what I've heard from the books, I don't think she is.
See, now I want to read these books. I want to know details.
You know what? Like, because of how imposing and powerful she is in her personal life, the switch does not surprise me, actually. It does not surprise me.
And then
This is
I will.
what you're into, isn't it?
I will.
So, Aaron, what's your ranking? Jesus.
I'll give it a bronze. It's a episode I'm willing to forget. Even if the Kyoshi stuff is like really fun, really cool, it could have been done in a better episode. I think this is just not a fun one. On to the greatest episode of all time. I mean, sorry, that's a blasphemous there. The Blind Bandit. What episode? What are we ranking this episode? What are we doing?
If I give it the platinum, it's entirely because it's wrestling and it's tough and it's everything that I love. Like from a plot perspective, the only really important thing that happens is that Toph is added to the party, and that's important. But like, you compare it against Zuko alone, you compare it against fucking the Storm or the Blue Spirit, who's like really potent like beats in the story where like shit is going down. So oh god, I want to give it a platinum so bad. I don't know if I can justify the.
All right. We'll put you on pause.
It just fills me with joy.
We'll put
on pause. Yeah.
We'll put you on pause, Nicole. I know you're not going to actually give it a platinum or anything. What is your ranking for it?
Yeah, this is just a really fun episode, and like, I'm gonna give it a high ranking just because I'm a fucking mark, but I'm gonna give this a Chris Jericho Lion Tamer.
Ooh, a Lion Tamer. Oh, that's big. That's real good.
See, Ryan, that's a ranking you understand.
This one I got. The Lion Tamer's just fucking amazing.
Okay. I'll pop in real quick. So, this is without a doubt my candy episode. This is the episode I go to time and time again just to watch for funsies. Nicole, I've spoken before about like Naruto, for example, and how the episode I show everyone to watch first is Gaara versus Rock Lee because the animation is great, the story is fun.
Yeah,
it's all around good. This to me is like that. It's the episode I will show people time and again as the episode to get you in the show because it hosts some of the best comedy, it hosts some of the best action, it introduces one of the best characters, and then you can go back and watch the build up to that character. The only downside to it, though, I think, is that it's not as deep or as impactful as Ryan was saying with like the Blue Spirit, with the Storm, with the Sozin's comment episodes. Like, I don't think it's as deep or as impactful, so it's hard for me to really push it into platinum territory without being just super biased and saying, no, I'm putting it in platinum because it's fun. But I kind of want to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so everybody feels the way I feel.
So, yeah, Ryan, I think on a count of 3, we just say what we're gonna say, and that'll be our ranking. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Platinum.
Gold.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa. Shots fired, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
Not a shot fired. I love it. Like you said, I agree with you on every point that you made. This is absolutely the candy episode. This is just feel good. You just want to see some kick-ass bending. Top shows up. It's just master level from the fucking jump. But there are some episodes that make me cry. That make me weep when I see them. So yeah, I'm gonna try and reserve my platinums. This is absolutely just one shade below platinum. This is the goldest of the gold.
It's like the exemplar episode of the gold episodes for sure.
Yes.
Well, that is a tough episode to rank because it's just so good, but you don't know how good it really is. But yeah, if you have not seen this show yet, and I don't know why you're watching this podcast literally this many episodes in and just now hearing about this episode, but go check it out. It's a good one. It's probably one of the best ones you can pick up without any real background knowledge. So, with that in mind, tune in next week for Zuko Alone, probably one of the best episodes without any qualifiers, and then The Chase, and that should be it. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we end the show?
I don't think so.
I would like to say that the Boulder would really appreciate it if everyone took their health so seriously and the healths of others around them, and wore their goddamn masks when going outside public areas. This has been a public service announcement from the Boulder.
Dude, I want to see the Boulder just swearing up and down now. That'd be great. Fuck you, the Boulder is ready.
The Boulder will layeth the smacketh down on anyone who's not wearing a goddamn mask while walking outside.
I like it. We'll see you after the credits.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Gonna get ready to rumble.
Oh shit.
Alright,
Yeah, I
just
guess I
give me a hot second to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Nicole,
I
I
guess I won't queue for another dungeon then.
Nicole, I don't believe this guy. He shows up late.
Right?
He has all day off, and then he's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom in between podcasts.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Wow.
Yeah.
Just piss in a cup
Yeah, just get a cup.
like I do. Be a fucking professional.
You know, I feel like there are some days we're too mean to Ryan. And I mean, I know we're not being mean on
No.
with intent to hurt him. We're just busting his chops. We're just tickling his ribs.
No.
Just yanking his chain.
Ryan has seen
Just
me
fondling the
mean.
balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ryan has seen me mean. This is not mean.
No, not at all.
I'm having a giggle.